All right. Okay, guys, thank you so much. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for joining. If you are new on this platform, consider subscribing, okay? Because this is where you are going to get a lot of the things you need to know about education. Thank you so much for doing that. And if you are old, you already do know my name. For the newcomers, my name is Milton Fonkwa. Alright. And in today's video, I'm going to be answering some of the questions because I have tried to put them in order because a lot of them are coming from students from Pakistan, India, um, Singapore. I got a few from Singapore who were asking a couple of questions too, some from Cyprus and Cameroonians too, Nigerians too. So, in today's video, I'm going to be talking about Cyprus International University, the tuition fee, the visa application, okay, the courses you need to know, right, the application period, cost of living and accommodation, and so many other things. All right, I just want to break it down so that you guys can understand me better. Right now, for those who don't know, Cyprus International University is a private university, not really like private, okay, but it is an institution and located in Northern Cyprus. All right, Northern Cyprus is a country, or let me say an island, located south of Turkey and east of Greece, okay, in the Mediterranean Sea, and we all know what an island is. So in 1997 or 1997-1998 period, around the 4th of February, that was when Cyprus International University started, and they started with just 3 or 4 faculties with 12 undergraduate programs. All right, that was then. But in 2001-2002, they relocated to their main campus, which is their present campus now in Haspolat. All right, Haspolat is a locality in the city of Nicosia, and this locality is found in Lefkosia. Some people say Haspolat Lefkosia, but I know it is Haspolat Nicosia. All right. So if you go there to CIU, it is called Cyprus International University. Know that that campus is in Haspolat and the locality is called Lefkosia. All right. So in 2001, that was when Cyprus International University relocated to this Haspolat campus, and I think from the city center to Haspolat is like 7 kilometers. All right, and Cyprus International University has then been growing, and is a very big institution today, right? I think it is the second biggest institution in Northern Cyprus, right? With a lot of Africans, a lot of Asians, a lot of Europeans, all right? So that is what you need to know. Again, in terms of programs, now let's go detailing, all right? Because I want to talk about the program, I also have to talk about the cost of living, admission requirements, documents, visa application, and all the other things you need to know, because I want some of you all to really understand what is happening. Now, let me start with the programs. They have bachelor's degree programs, okay? They have master's degree programs, and they also do have PhD programs. But you also need to know that bachelor's programs run from 3 to 4 years, all right? While master's degree programs runs from 2 years, 2 years, 2.5 years maximum. All right. PhD programs are basically 3.5, 4 years, and it also depends on the research ability of the student. Okay. So now, for their bachelor's degree programs, they have about 18 and above programs, and likewise the master's degree programs too. All right. And for the PhD, note that you have to write. If you are qualified, if you are admitted for the PhD at CIU, you have to write an entrance exam qualification, or is it entrance exam, or they call it a qualification exam, right? If you fail, you will not continue with the PhD, so you need to know that. But for the bachelor's programs, there are programs, they have programs like agriculture, architecture, business, computer science, designs, okay, education, journalism, IT, alright, the medicine, the pharmacy, and psychology, okay. Some other guys were asking me about medicine, if they can study medicine in English language at this university. I think that subscriber is from Nigeria. Yes, if you watch this video and you come across this, know that you can study medicine in bachelor's degree in English language at Cyprus International University. Okay, so continue watching. There are a lot of things I have to mention here now so that you should understand better. These programs are bachelor's degree programs I mentioned, alright, and there are also programs like this related. These are not all the programs. I just mentioned some so that you can understand. Likewise for the master's degree programs, but the PhD programs, I think they are close to 10, alright. So when you want to apply, please check the link, alright, of the university. Now, let me talk about, I want to talk about one master's degree program and what is required in that program so that you know. Alright, now I'm going to be talking about master's MSc in environmental science and engineering. Alright, master's in environmental science and engineering. This is what you need to know. Master's in environmental science and engineering is a 2 years program. Alright, all master's programs basically are 2-year programs, or let me say degree programs. And in these programs, for masters, you have to have at least a 3 on 4 CGPA in order for you to do the thesis, okay? In order for you to do the thesis or the project, because it's either you do the thesis or the project in your final year. Then now, the medium of instruction is English language, and there are compulsory courses, there are elective courses in addition to your project or the thesis, alright? And during the first semester, for the environmental science or environmental engineering, you are opportune to do courses like waste management, landfills and design, okay? Then during the second semester, because for a master's degree program, before you apply, they have to check your qualifications, and in certain cases, some students are given foundation courses too, alright? Foundation simply means that you move on with your skills. They want to know if you are actually qualified to do the master's program. So they will give you certain courses like environmental chemistry 1, environmental chemistry 2, statistics, okay, biomedical sciences, microbiology, and things like that. So if you are given the first semester, you can do waste management, landfills, and maybe 2 foundation courses, any of them of your choice. Then the second semester, because you will be given at least 3 foundation courses or 4. Some people are given 4, others are given 3, alright? So, the second semester now, you can do things like air pollution, industrial waste management, industrial waste designs, and things like that, alright? Then during the third semester, you can do stuff like ecology, biomaterials, and remember there are elective courses. You can either choose to take some from bioengineering department or from other departments, but most students choose to take from bioengineering department because they are almost related, alright? You can also add biomedical sciences to your stuff. You can add physiology for engineers. You can add therapy and stuff like that, tissue engineering, alright? So, then in the fourth semester, which is the final semester, you have to do a project or a dissertation. Remember, your CGPA must be at least 3 on 4, alright? If you manage not to score at least 3 on 4, that is to say your GPA is below 3, okay, you will now be given extra courses to do again. But remember, extra means you are not doing it for free. You have to pay again for it, alright? So, be very careful if you are studying in Northern Cyprus. Do not fail a course if you are a master's degree student, and make sure you pass all your courses with at least a B. If it is lowest, it should be C+, alright? And the C+ should not be more than 2 courses because it's going to cost you a lot, okay? So, that is what you need to know. Then, of course, there are laboratory practicals. That is what they use mostly when they are going for the lab. And again, when they are doing their assessment for exams, you will do laboratory practicals. There will be lab attendance. There will be like absence or present in class. All those things, and assignments and presentation. All those things do matter a lot if you are studying in this school and in this country. Okay. Now, let me talk about the admission requirements. The admission requirements in Northern Cyprus is not that heavy. What I mean here is the requirements are not bulky. Then I think if you are applying for a bachelor's degree, automatically you need to have a high school diploma, all right? And if you are going in, let me say, for a science program, you must be strong in some science subject like physics, mathematics, and chemistry, okay? Then if you are going in for a master's degree, at least you should show that you have graduated from a university, let me say a public university or a renowned university that you've studied for at least 3 years, all right? Because in most universities, you will study for 3 years before you get a bachelor's degree, all right? So if you want to apply for a master's program, you need to show your transcript and a certificate to show that you have a bachelor's degree before. But some cases, some students were also asking me if they can use their diploma, because I understand, especially in Cameroon, there are a lot of students who have the higher national diploma. But remember, the higher national diploma is not equivalent to a bachelor's degree, all right? It is lower, while a bachelor's degree is higher. So in this case, if you apply in this country, you cannot apply for a master's using a higher national diploma, okay? You have to go apply again for the bachelor's. But you are not going to study all courses for bachelor's degree like a student who is just coming from high school. Let me say, if you are using your higher national diploma to apply for a study place at bachelor's, or let me say for bachelor's programs, they might take out like 8 courses from the courses you are doing in total, all right? Now, your level is a little bit up than a student who is just coming from high school. I hope you understand. So that is what you need to know. Then now, I already talked about the admission requirement, and of course, you also need a language certificate, because if you don't have a language certificate, you are going to pay money to attend their English school, and their English school is, or let me say the English school in Cyprus International University is very expensive, okay? So I will propose, or I can advise you, before you move, make sure you have a certificate to show that you studied in English language, okay? Or you have this certificate they call the IELTS exam, okay, the IELTS certificate or the TOEFL certificate or any other, maybe the Cambridge certificate, all right? If you have that, that is going to be okay for you, all right? Now, for the cost of living in Northern Cyprus, feeding in Northern Cyprus is not a problem. Cost of living is not that difficult. The main problem in Northern Cyprus is tuition fee, okay? Because you pay in euros and dollars. But cost of living, with your small Turkish lira, you can fit, all right? Food in Northern Cyprus is not that expensive. Accommodation is somehow a little bit expensive, but not that expensive, because you can still find accommodation you pay in Turkish lira, though accommodation is paid in British pounds, right? But you can still find yours that you can pay in Turkish lira. And I think for food is very cheap, all right? Food is very cheap. There are a lot of grocery stores around, cheap grocery stores like the Lemon supermarket. Even there are Lemon supermarket all around Cyprus, all right? You also have markets that are very cheap. There is another market in Nicosia, yes. It is called the $1 market. Anything you are buying in that market is $1, all right? Which is 5 Turkish lira, all right? So it is not expensive. There is another cheap market in Guinea around the city center they call Odu Pazar. It is very cheap, all right? Likewise, the Lemon is found everywhere in Northern Cyprus. Even inside the university campus, there is one Lemon supermarket. So, cost of living is not that expensive. You can spend like between 400 to 600 Turkish lira a month if you are somebody who manages, all right? But if you live excessive lifestyle, be ready to spend like 500 and 1,000 Turkish lira a month, okay? But cost of living is not expensive compared to other European countries because you are spending the Turkish lira, all right? So it is very cheap. Again, now I'm going to talk about the required documents for you before you do an application in this country, okay? I hope you understand me. Remember that the first thing you need is your past education certificates, all right? Past education certificates must be in order, because As I said, if you are applying for a bachelor's, you need to show your high school diplomas or high school certificates. If you are applying for a master's, you need to show your bachelor's degree certificate and the transcript. Okay, then there are other requirements too. If you are applying for the bachelor's or the master's, you need to show your passport. Okay, you also need to show maybe they will also ask you maybe your passport size photographs and so many other things. All right, so that is what you need for documents to apply for a place in Northern Cyprus. And now, let me talk about the admissions proper. How do you go about the admissions? Remember, in order for you to apply for any university in any country, you need to first of all make Google your friend. Alright, make Google your friend, because if you don't know how to use Google, I was talking to somebody yesterday. She is in Istanbul, as she told me. So when I mentioned admissions, she was like, "What is admissions?" So I laughed and I was shocked. But I also understand that not all of us, we do know some of these things. It is okay if you don't know. Alright, always ask so that people can elaborate and explain to you better. So I told her everything she needed to know and she was happy. So admissions, if you want to do an admission in a foreign university, make Google your friend. Okay, then now you go into the Google search button, you type the name of the school, everything about the school is going to pop up. Then you read, you follow, you read, all right, until you find a website to apply, or you find a link to apply for that program. All right, but in certain cases, most schools will not have links. Like there are schools in Austria that don't have links. All right, so if you realize a school does not have a link, all right, go to freeapply.com. I have a video on my channel talking about that. Use freeapply.com to search the school. You will find a link to apply there. Okay, so that is what you need to know. And when you apply to a university like Cyprus International University, know that after your admissions, you need to pay the application fee. Okay, then when your letter is out, your admission letter is out, you need to pay the letter that will be out first of all is called the conditional admission offer. Okay, then that way you will pay the tuition fee, which was the condition that was given on that letter. The deposit is usually 1,000 euros. Okay, you pay the 1,000 euros. Then the next letter that will come out for you is the unconditional. Then that way you will use the unconditional, the conditional, the payment receipt, and some other documents here, past education certificates to move into this country. All right, so that is what you need to know about that. Then remember, there is an application fee. All right, when you are applying to this university, there is an application fee, and it's usually, I think, between 65 to 75 euros. Okay, so verify that when you are applying. But if you are going through an agent, most agents will not collect an application fee from you. I know that, because they will apply using their agent link. Then when the school wants to pay them, the school will cut it from their agent fee. All right, that is what most agents will not tell you. I didn't say you should go and start asking agents. I'm just telling you what the procedure is. So that is it. All right, so but if you are applying yourself, you know that you are going to pay an application fee. Okay, so that is it. Then you have to also understand that the school terms, there are two school terms in Northern Cyprus. One begins in September, okay, and ends in January. The other one starts in February and ends in April or May. So in 1 year there are two school terms. Okay, so every year you have two school terms to go. Every September or October, lectures begins and lecture stops immediately around May or June. Okay, so that is that. Now let me talk about accommodation. Accommodation in Northern Cyprus is, I have two videos, I think 2 or 3 on my channel that I talked about. One, I elaborated about accommodation, or I talked about accommodation in detail, but I'm still going to mention it here. Before you move to North Cyprus, know that you need an accommodation as a student, all right, especially when you already do have an admission. Now, in Cyprus International University, if you are going, they have, I think, more than 4 dormitories, okay, for students. There is a renowned one. I used to have friends there called Bovavento. I know the dormitory called Bovavento very well. My friend lived there. So, if you are going there, make sure you check early your accommodation within the school campus, all right, because it's either you live on campus or off campus, all right. You can decide, but remember, on campus accommodation is advantageous because you don't trek for long distances, okay, and it's secured too. You don't have to go to far away places, all right. There is a supermarket within the campus, so it's not a problem. But others will like their privacy and they would like to move out of campus. But if you choose to stay on campus, know that you will be spending at least 500 to 600 euros every month, okay, which I consider it pretty expensive compared to off-campus accommodation, okay. So to me, I will choose off campus, but for you, you have what you can decide on, alright. It is your choice, so you decide on that. And there are a lot of different apartments on campus, alright. You have an apartment where you will be sharing with like 3 or 4 persons. You have apartment where you can cook and apartments where you cannot cook inside. So they varies all in prices, alright. So that is what you need to know. Now, off-campus accommodation is somehow in northern Cyprus, you will get apartments, all right, and these apartments are either 1+1 apartment, a studio, 2+1 apartment, 3+1 apartment, okay, and all of them do varies in price and ages, all right. A new apartment, of course, is very expensive than an old apartment, and when you are going to a 1+1, 1+1 simply means it has 1 room, 1 toilet, 1 kitchen, and 1 sleeping room, all right. It has 1 parlor, 1 kitchen, 1 toilet, and 1 sleeping room. Then 2+1 simply means there are 2 bedrooms, all right, 1 parlor, 1 kitchen, and 1 toilet. 3+1 simply means there are 3 bedrooms, 1 kitchen, 1 toilet, and 1 parlor, okay. So that is how the apartments are there. A studio apartment simply means an apartment. You have your small toilet, you have your small kitchen, and you have a space for your bed and so on. So their prices are different, all right. For a studio apartment, you can get it for like 900 Turkish lira. For a 1+1 apartment, you can get it for like 2,500 Turkish lira a month. For a 3+1 apartment, you can get for like 2,500 to 3,000 Turkish lira. While a 3+1 apartment, you can still get for like between 2,700 to 3,500 Turkish lira. And this is what you need to know. All these prices are not fixed. Alright, let me put this as a disclaimer. They are not fixed, alright. It can change at any time depending on who owns the apartment. And remember, the age of the apartment too makes the money different because new apartments, of course, will be expensive than all apartments. And in northern Cyprus, you have what you also call furnished and unfurnished buildings, all right. You will go into some apartments, they will be furnished. Furnished means that you will find cupboards, chairs, beds inside, all right. Unfurnished means that there are no beds, no cupboards, nothing. You buy them yourself, all right. And in that case, an unfurnished apartment will be cheaper than a furnished apartment, all right. So you need to know that again. Now, this is what you need to know. I already talked about accommodation, so I will talk again. In Cyprus International University, we will have restaurants, okay? If you will be the one to decide if you want to be feeding from the school restaurant, okay? Or you want to stay in an apartment where you will be cooking your own food, okay? It depends on you. You also do have a sport arena, alright? If you are a sport lover, the biggest arena in Cyprus, in northern Cyprus, is the Cyprus International University Sports Arena. Okay, it is located close to the English Institute, alright? So it is the biggest arena in northern Cyprus. You don't find another arena bigger than that of Cyprus International University. I've been there twice and it's very beautiful, alright? It has all types, the swimming section, the gym section, basketball, volleyball, football, any sports you can imagine, it has, okay? So check it out if you are in Cyprus International University. They also do have a library, right, for research. That was my friend. I was making the library my friend. A very good use of it. I made a very good use of it. So if you are there, make sure you check it out. All right. Then there are all grocery stores. I already talked about that. Then if you are a student of Cyprus International University, know that they have very good laboratories, very good ones for that matter. Then again, know that their buses are free. If you are a student, automatically you enter any bus you like, in as much as it's going your direction, and if you are on the bus stop on time, you enter the school bus for free. Okay, so that is what you need to know. In any school in Northern Cyprus, the buses are free for anybody. All right, in as much as it's going your direction, jump inside, they will drop you off. All right, so that is what you need to know. And I think now I'm going to talk about the last thing, which is the visa application. Now, before you apply for a visa as a student to go to Northern Cyprus, you have to understand, check if your country needs a visa, you need a visa to go, or your country is visa free. For most African countries, Cameroonians don't need a visa, okay? Some African countries like Tanzania and Namibians, if I'm correct, don't need a visa. Nigerians also don't need a visa. I don't know if Ghanaians too, they don't, but I know most African countries, 99% of them don't need a visa to enter Northern Cyprus. What all of us, we both need is, when we arrive at the Aegean airport, we will be given a stamp, a 60-day or a 90-day stamp before you register on campus and you do your residence permit, which will now permit you to live for the number of years you want to live, in as much as the permit is valid. All right, so most African countries don't need a visa. Most Asian countries don't need a visa. All of us need is a visa upon arrival, a stamp. All right, so I have a lot of videos on my channel about Northern Cyprus. Please check them out. Okay, so that is what you need to know. Some other countries will need a visa, yes, I know, but there are others who will not need a visa. So in that case, you need to check. If you need a visa, you go apply for one. Maybe it can be transit visa or not. Okay, if you don't need, pack your things and start moving. All right, after the first deposit and your vaccines. All right, for Cameroonians, when you get your admission letter, the first admission letter, the conditional, the unconditional, okay, you need now the vaccine, the yellow booklet. All right, if you need more information, come to the comment section. I will explain more about the yellow booklet. Then from there, you can now pay your flight and you go and study. That is all you need to know about CIU. All right, with courses, accommodation, admission fee, requirements, visa application, tuition fee, and all the rest. All right, thank you so much. In the days ahead, I'm going to be bringing you information about nursing, okay, at Cyprus International University. Until then, this is your favorite village boy, Mr.